Gina, alcoholic affection. Alcoholic affection. Certainly, it is the affection or belief in your mind that should be considered as the true cause of alcoholism. What is the true cause of this alcohol slavery? Can it be the action that implies thought, word and deed? Such activity is present even in the case of the abstainer, and in him the slavery of alcohol should not occur. So the feeling of affection must be taken as the causal condition of alcohol slavery. The connoisseurs declare that the drunkenness of living beings is caused by the disappearance of their good perception. The will to get drunk is enough to create alcohol slavery regardless of whether one gets drunk or not. Again, it is pointed out how thought is the cause of alcohol slavery and no vice or virtue. Thinking of an empirical being is always conditioned by an alcohol in the external world. It is by thought that slavery occurs. Thought without the basis of an external object, such as alcohol, never occurs in the consciousness of the being. Preventing the cause of the effect can be avoided. They are bound or released according to their own thinking conditions. In all these cases, the being deviates from its own intrinsic nature of purity and is vitiated by strange influences, so the being through its activity of vitiated thought deviates from its own nature, assuming various unreal, ephemeral and impure forms. It is noted below that those who are free from such mental activity are not subject to alcohol slavery. The thought activities mentioned above occur when the intrinsic nature of the being is not realized. The realization of the true self involves all three aspects: the perception in the highest purity of being, the knowledge of the Supreme Being, and the identification with that Supreme Being. These three aspects constitute the three jewels from the highest point of view. Therefore, it follows that in the case of a teetotaler equipped with a true knowledge of the self, these psychic activities are absent, and therefore, there is no alcohol slavery. Spiritual liberation from alcohol slavery is only possible by adopting the real point of view. When the drunkenness pertaining to aversion, attachment, and the grossest emotions begin to operate, the empirical self begins to have corresponding psychic states. These psychic manifestations of attachment, etc., of which he is the causal agent, in turn produce a new bondage to alcohol. As long as the being does not practice renunciation and repentance, both physical and psychic, it must be understood that he is the agent causal of binge drinking. If, on the other hand, the being, when abandoning the spiritual discipline imposed by repentance and renunciation, identifies himself with the impure emotions of the past and easily commits himself to future similar indulgences, he becomes fully responsible for their defects, and therefore, he is forced by drunkenness. Jai Jinendra, by admiring the greatness of these emancipated souls, we benefit and feel more purified at the same time, achieving more victories over our karmas.